These bizarre habits are secret signs of intelligence. Number 1. Your messy desk is actually a creative lab. Let's be honest. Your desk looks like a crime scene. A coffee mug from who knows when, sticky notes plastered like confetti, and a random pile of papers that could be alive. To most people, it screams chaos. But to you, it might be the sign of a hidden creative powerhouse. Here's the twist. Researchers at the University of Minnesota discovered that cluttered environments actually encourage creative thinking. In their studies, people working in messy rooms consistently came up with more original ideas than those in spotless ones. Why? Because disorder doesn't just look wild. It stimulates your brain, forcing it out of autopilot and into fresh connections. It's like jazz for your neurons. Albert Einstein, the man who literally rewrote the universe, once asked, "If a cluttered desk is a sign of a cluttered mind, what then is an empty desk?" Mic drop. And he wasn't alone. Mark Twain, Steve Jobs, and plenty of history's brightest minds thrived in chaos. So maybe your stacks of papers aren't procrastination. They're prototypes. Next time someone tells you to tidy up, smile and remember, genius often looks like a mess until you zoom out. Number 2. You laugh at jokes that make everyone else squirm. Ever chuckle at a dark joke and instantly feel the room go cold, like you just said the unsayable? Don't panic. That doesn't mean you're twisted. It might actually mean your brain is sharper than everyone else's in the room. A study out of Austria tested people with morbid or controversial cartoons. The folks who understood and genuinely enjoyed the humor scored much higher on both verbal and nonverbal intelligence. Even better, they were also less aggressive and more emotionally stable than those who didn't get the jokes. Here's why. Dark humor isn't simple. To get it, your brain has to understand the setup, spot the taboo element, separate the literal meaning, flip it into irony. That's 4 layers of cognition in a single laugh. It's mental gymnastics like doing algebra while others are still practicing multiplication tables. And the cherry on top? People who enjoy edgy humor tend to be calmer and less angry overall. So next time you laugh at something that makes everyone else uncomfortable, remember, you're not broken. You're running on multiple cognitive threads at once. Number 3, you can't stop overthinking, and that's a superpower. It's 2 a.m., you're wide awake, replaying an awkward conversation from 3 years ago like it's game footage. You analyze every word, every pause, every look. People call it spiraling, but science says it might actually be high-level brain power in disguise. A study published in Personality and Individual Differences found that people with higher levels of anxiety often scored higher on intelligence tests. Why? Because your brain isn't breaking, it's forecasting. It's running endless simulations of what could happen next, the good, the bad, and the catastrophic. Psychologists call this sentinel intelligence, your mind scanning the horizon for risk and opportunity, just like our ancestors did when survival depended on spotting danger before it arrived. Sure, today it shows up as you spending 20 minutes deciding how to word a text, but the skill behind it is the same: constant planning, analyzing, and preparing. Now, let's be clear, if your thoughts ever get overwhelming or paralyzing, it's important to get help. But if you're just highly introspective and always 10 steps ahead, that's not overreacting. That's your brain flexing its strategic muscles. So next time you catch yourself dissecting a moment from earlier today, take a breath and remind yourself, you're not stuck, you're calculating. Number 4, doodling in boring meetings means you're a genius. You're stuck in a meeting where someone's droning on about quarterly targets or team synergy. Your hand, almost without permission, starts sketching little stars, spirals, or random boxes in the corner of your notebook. To others, it looks like you're checked out. But in reality, you're secretly upgrading your brain's performance. Psychologist Jackie Andrade tested this by having people listen to the dullest voicemail ever. Think, Steve is bringing chips to the party level boring. Half just listened. The other half doodled while listening. Result? The doodlers remembered 29% more information. Here's why. When your brain is totally unstimulated, it starts to wander like a bored toddler, daydreaming, worrying, or planning dinner. But give it a small, low-effort task like doodling, and it anchors your focus just enough to keep you engaged. So those little squiggles in your margins aren't distractions. They're cognitive optimization. Doodling is like fidgeting with a Rubik's Cube while solving a mystery. Next time someone rolls their eyes at your messy notebook, just smile. You're not slacking off, you're actually boosting memory and sharpening focus. Number 5, staying up late means you're smarter than you think. It's 11 p.m. You know you should be asleep, but instead, you're deep into a Wikipedia spiral about extinct animals or watching a random documentary on cults. To most people, that looks like bad discipline, but science says it might actually be a mark of higher intelligence. Studies, including one by psychologist Satoshi Kanazawa, show that people with higher IQs are more likely to have later chronotypes, meaning their brains naturally stay alert at night. Why? Because being active after dark is an evolutionary novelty. Our ancestors weren't up binge-watching videos under firelight. If you were awake at 2 a.m. back then, you were probably taking big risks or thinking in unconventional ways. That same tendency today shows up as curiosity-fueled deep dives when the world is asleep. Night owls also tend to score higher on divergent thinking, the kind of creativity that sparks innovation, art, and those startup idea on a napkin moments. So yes, your 3 a.m. obsession with whether octopuses have feelings? That's not insomnia. It's your brain exploring uncharted territory. Just remember to hydrate while you're at it. Number 6. Talking to yourself is a sign of high intelligence. Ever catch yourself muttering, okay, grab the charger, then feed the cat, then maybe take over the world, and wonder if you're losing it? Relax. You're not going crazy. You're actually using one of the brain's secret performance hacks. Psychologists call this self-directed speech, and it's far from weird. In one study, people were asked to find objects in a messy room. Those who repeated the object's name out loud located it faster and more accurately. Why? Because speaking the words activates memory, visualization, and focus all at once. And it's not just about finding your keys. Self-talk helps you regulate emotions. Okay, this is tough, but I've handled worse. Stay on task. Don't forget the passport. And a problem solved by thinking out loud. Elite athletes, surgeons, and even chess grandmasters all use it. Not for drama, but for precision. The key isn't constant self-criticism, but purposeful dialogue. Pep talks, reminders, or step-by-step thinking. So, the next time someone hears you whispering in the grocery aisle, don't be embarrassed. You're not losing your grip, you're fine-tuning your brain. Number 7. Fluent in swearing. Ever worked with someone who, while others stumble through conversations, crafts verbal art with curse words? Their swearing isn't clumsy, it's calculated. Each word, a sharpened tool showing sharp intellect and emotional awareness. Research by Dr. Timothy J. at the Massachusetts College of Liberal Arts reveals that people who know more words, including the forbidden ones, tend to be more verbally fluent overall. That mind that knows exactly when to unleash an F-bomb for max impact is the same one that nails polished phrasing in a boardroom. That's full-spectrum language mastery. To curse well is to read the room with precision. You know the difference between swearing at someone and swearing near them. You get that a well-placed damn and an F-word don't land the same. And you fire them off like a sniper, not a scatter shot. Surprisingly, science shows that swearing boosts pain tolerance and helps regulate emotions. Your brain treats strong language like a pressure release, processing stress and keeping balance. It's not losing control, it's being smart with your feelings. Inventive profanity also flexes your mental agility. When your mind blends taboo words into clever combos, bending language rules for effect, that's not just swearing, it's spontaneous wordplay. It's poetry made from the rawest parts of the language. Number 8. The myth of tab hoarding. Your browser looks like a digital explosion. Dozens of tabs, scattered across windows like stars in a chaotic galaxy. Friends tease you about being disorganized, maybe even unfocused. But what they see as clutter, your brain knows is system. Each tab is more than a web page. It's a thread of thought, a breadcrumb trail through your curiosity. What looks like chaos is actually your external memory system. Nobel laureate Herbert Simon called this satisficing, offloading details so the brain saves energy for deeper thinking. You're not hoarding, you're staging an intellectual toolkit. That article on quantum physics next to a YouTube video on Roman concrete? To others, it's random. To you, it's a hidden link. Durability and quantum coherence suddenly sitting side by side, waiting for your brain to fuse them. It's like a chef's messy counter. To outsiders, clutter. To the chef, everything within reach, ready to create. Your 47 tabs aren't distraction. They're raw material for innovation. Connections in the making. A living library open exactly where you need it. Others see digital chaos. You see an innovation engine. Number 9. Productive procrastination. You've got a big deadline looming, but instead of working on it, you're reorganizing your photo library, scrubbing your keyboard, or researching the perfect coffee temperature. People call it procrastination. But what's really happening? Your brain is doing creative incubation. Research by Adam Grant at Wharton shows that moderate procrastinators are more creative than both the ones who dive in immediately and those who delay endlessly. Why? Because while you're tackling small, low-stakes tasks, your subconscious is still grinding on the big problem in the background. The brilliance is in your task selection. You're not zoning out with endless scrolling. You're choosing mildly engaging, satisfying activities that keep your brain active but not overloaded. It's like giving your mind breathing room, letting the best ideas surface naturally. That presentation you've been avoiding, your brain is secretly piecing it together while you polish your desk. When inspiration finally hits, it feels effortless because your mind has been preparing in stealth mode. Your so-called procrastination isn't laziness, it's strategy. It's your intelligent brain building the perfect environment for creativity to strike.